How can AI improve the students' learning process?
What is happening with the typical class? When you have one teacher in front of 30, 40 students in one class, typically there are students that are more engaged than others. There are students that they have more capacity to learn faster than others. And each different student has different weakness and different strength. Because of that, the teacher try to typically go to the middle, okay? Try to go to most of the students. The student that they don't learn or they learn slower, they cannot have a personalized a class. And the same for the students that are excelling, because probably they will be very bored after repeating and repeating the same stuff and they are not advancing. Because of that, when you have a class with multiple students, it's very difficult for a human, for a teacher, try to have one need and answer each question to each student, and at the same time, try to have them absolutely engaged. In one case, one student will be bored because it's too slow, and from the other one, the student will be completely disconnected because they don't understand anything. Because of that, in the case of generative AI, you are advancing to the speed that the student wants. You are answering specifically the question that the student needs. And from the other side, the generative AI can have exact examples to the level of the student that they want. In other words, if you have a student, for example, that is more interested in soccer, probably you can have many examples in math, in geometry about soccer. But there is another one that is more interested in social activities, and you can have multiple examples that are for social activities, exactly also for geometry. In that sense, you have multiple solutions and multiple interests. There is no one student that represents all the students. Because of that, the personalized learning is very important. Let me go specifically to the Harvard study. I can send you later the link because it's amazing. It was made last year in the Department of Physics. It's not something about education. And they gave to a group of students, 170 approximately, one group, they gave a lecture, an active lecture, okay, with one of the teachers of Harvard. In that sense, we are not talking about a bad teacher, okay? Very good teachers, very good students, the best in the world, we can say. And in that case, one of them was a regular 60-minute class, and the other one were using a generative AI solution. And they were chatting, and only they were learning about one specific topic. In average, the students using the generative AI solution, they spent only 49 minutes. The other one spent 60 minutes. The result finally showed the same curve that I showed in the 2 sigma, but the difference between the lecture and the generative AI was 1.3 deviation standard. In other words, was a big and meaningful difference between both students. And the level of engagement in a scale from 1 to 5, which is a really good indication of the level of learning, it moves from 3.5 to 4.2. In other words, the students were much more engaged, they are learning faster, and the results were really, really amazing.
I do agree. I think that the personalization is the main answer for that, because it's very demanding for the teacher when he sees struggling students that is having difficult to understand a concept that he's trying to pass, and he's already has his process, his idea on how to explain this. And sometimes it's very difficult for him to change the examples or how he's explaining the concept. The AI could bring new strategies or could help the teacher or even the students to see the explanation of a topic in a different way using different examples. And I think that this is a benefit that help a lot on those environments where you have a teacher that has hundreds of students. It's very hard for him to know exactly each way each student is learning, or what is the best example for each of them. And the AI makes the teacher more productive on generating different types of examples and explanations to feed different types of students' understanding.